Tonight, on Doing Da Vinci, the team attempts to construct one of Leonardo's most complicated designs.
Build a tank that Leonardo da Vinci designed.
It's meant to fire a multitude of cannons in every direction possible, and it just mauls people down along the way.
It's a big one.
And Da Vinci's wheel requires some reinvention.
I think I found something wrong. I think Da Vinci planned a booby trap into his tank.
I don't see that working.
It's gonna work, dude. I'm telling you right now.
No friggin' way.
When the tools start breaking, tempers grow short.
You broke the blade? There she goes!
Can Da Vinci's armored tank roll from the pages of the past?
You ready? Start going. Woo-hoo! Oh, look at this. I was a Marine, and I have a degree in fine arts, CAD, CAM, and metals. I own a robotics and animatronics special effects company. I know what it takes to build complex machines. As an artist and a mechanical designer, I understand Da Vinci's way of thinking.
I always had a love for mechanical engineering. During my years at McDonnell Douglas, I would design satellite components. I'm very inspired by Da Vinci. He pushed the envelope to invent cool things, but he invented things which he thought would be helpful.
I'm an artist and a builder, and I build a lot of large-scale public art. Nothing under 20 feet. I have always admired Da Vinci. I want to create what he drew, and I'm going to make them work for him.
I'm a carpenter. Been working with wood since I built my first go-kart at the age of 7. I love taking on new challenges and inventing new methods on how to make it happen. Over the years, I've learned from studying Da Vinci's work. Da Vinci was ahead of his time, possibly even our time.
I'm an associate professor at the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, and I'm also an expert on Leonardo da Vinci. I teach a course on Leonardo. I've studied him for my whole life, and I've published several articles on him. I have a collection of over 700 books about Leonardo.
Let me tell you what you're looking at. This is one of the most amazing drawings that Leonardo did. You can see the writing in the middle of the page at different places. He writes how the armored car is arranged inside. There are hand cranks that men will turn, and they will make the wheels move. And then he says it will need 8 men to work it and make it turn and pursue the enemy.
Okay.
Then on the bottom right, he says this is good to break through the ranks, but it must be followed up.
He never actually built this tank. Am I right about that?
We don't know if he built it or not. What we do know is that the design is in his manuscripts. So he definitely dreamt it up. It was in his imagination.
This tank idea, it's wild. It's a big one, and it's going to be a major project. Would you say it would be wood or metal?
Leonardo would have had access to lots of wood and lots of materials. He had a lot of experience working with metals, so it's okay for you to have that latitude to figure what would really work.
Right, so we could build it the way we would kind of build it today using his sketch.
Your task is to bring this tank drawing to life, but even more than that, try to be Leonardo, feel his spirit, and try to create something that he himself wanted to bring to life. And good luck.
Nice.
Thank you, Doctor. That's a tall order.
That's why you're there and I'm here.
Yes.
We'll keep you posted, Doc.
Take care. And here's the quote of the day from Leonardo da Vinci. What is fair in men passes away, but not so in art. Thank you, Leonardo. Inspirational. Okay, let's get to work.
The president has given us this task of building this huge tank. It's one of Da Vinci's war machines. What I think about when I start from a 2D sketch is really I get into what was Da Vinci thinking about. It's meant to move onto the battlefield and clear a path from wherever it starts to wherever it lands, and it just mauls people down along the way. First thing I'm thinking about designing is the base. The base has to support everything. It's got to support the axles, it's got to support the gearing, it's got to support 36 cannons, not to mention 8 guys, cannonballs, powder, you name it. So this base cannot collapse. The structure of the tank itself, analogy of a tent, we're going to have 20 tent poles, so to speak, supporting all the weight of this armor. Definitely one of the most important aspects of the tank itself is the drive mechanism. I've been spending a lot of time focusing on the gears and this cranking mechanism that Da Vinci built into his design. I think I've found something wrong.
All right, what do we got?
First of all, I think Da Vinci planned a booby trap into his tank.
Where?
Well, if you take the crank, and if you cycle the crank in the normal fashion,
I see it.
this wheel is going to be going in this direction.
Right.
And this gear is rotating. This wheel is going to be going in that direction. So basically, you're not going anywhere. You got a tug-of-war effect.
You got to put this over there. Then is that it?
You're going to have to make them the same on both sides. There's no patents back then, so what do when you're a master builder and you're afraid somebody's going to take your stuff? Why not build it in a couple, mistakes?
We haven't really spent a lot of time on the wheel, but we can definitely talk about that.
Basically, to this whole piece of machinery, the wheels have got to be the single most important part, because that whole thing is going to be held up by 4 points, actually, the wheels themselves.
So we're starting with the floor plan. We know it's going to be strong. It's got to be able to support all this weight.
We have some base portions that can be worked on immediately. We have wood sections that can be worked on immediately.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's do it.
Want to start figuring out metal?
I'll stick with the wood.
All right, let's do it.
And I've been spending a lot of time focusing on the wheels, and I've been through lots of different iterations. All steel, laser cut steel, hybrid, all wood, you name it. To drive something that big with that type of weight is going to take some really, really solid materials. Honestly, it's a challenge to think of, is this thing actually going to move? We're designing Da Vinci's armored tank. It's going to weigh many, many thousands of pounds. One of the things I've been thinking about is to basically use ball bearings. Dr. Pesner, how are you doing today? This is Alan.
Great, thanks.
Hey, if you have a couple minutes, I need help.
I sure do.
I've been toying with wooden wheels, steel wheels, spoked wheels, hub wheels, you name it. And no matter what type of wheels, I really want to use some modern day inventions here. I want to use ball bearings maybe so that the tank can actually move.
I've got some good news for you. Ball bearings might sound like a really modern solution, but Leonardo da Vinci is the person who invented them.
An invention of the 20th century was invented by Da Vinci.
That's what I'm telling you. Let me show you some of the drawings that Leonardo has left behind. The first thing he has is a picture that shows a vertical shaft coming down, and it rests into a little place where there are 3 balls. You have here a whole series of balls in both a side view up at the top left and then on the top right. And all these balls here are coming close to each other, not quite touching each other. And then one more is shown here, which is basically a modern screw jack. And on this screw jack, you can again see the ball bearings from a side view. So you're in good shape to add ball bearings to your design.
Ball bearings will relieve friction. Ball bearings will help some of the weight get relieved. And this is fantastic news.
That's it.
Last piece of the pie. Oh, yeah. Ta-da!
Now, I'll weld the plates and the pins together to make 4 barrel gears, 1 for each wheel.
Okay. This stuff is so nasty. Yeah. Well, there you go, buddy. There it is. Oh. Ow. Ah. Yeah.
5 more feet. Keep it going. There goes the mark. Oh. So what I'm doing right now is putting in the supports and the uprights for the upper cone of the entire tank. This whole entire thing is basically the top of the tank. Come up a little bit, Frank. Straight up. Last one. Done. Done. On to the next project.
It looks good.
All right, so where we're at right now now is we've got the upper half has all the skin on it. The other side is just about done as far as the lower tank. All the wood skin on that is almost done. We have to put one on top of the other, and we're going to all work on that together.
So when do I get to see the tank?
Anytime, come on out.
Oh, you mean finished? Oh, well, that's a little different.
Oh, yeah,
okay. Actually, there's a lot of work to do.
There's something I'd like you to do with this project, which is be Leonardo. And if you're Leonardo, your boss is the Duke of Milan. And he's telling you the French could invade any day. And he's telling you, I need this thing and I need it now. And the pressure's on. And so your job is to be really creative and do something amazing and do a fantastic job. The quality has to be sky high, but also do it quickly. The pressure's on.
So you're not kidding.
Have light coming out, little robot comes crawling out, little wooden robot maybe. There she goes! We're gonna basically drive it right under our upper half. Just remember to duck. And trying to lower it down on 20 little pegs that we've got to, get it just right. Yeah, valves on.
I think valve's got to come in a little bit.
Frank and I lowered this thing down for the last time. It sat beautifully right in the right spot.
On the money. On the money, yeah!
So it worked out really well.
They did it. I don't know how they did it. I mean, by moving forklifts, it's like moving mountains. But they lined it up perfectly, and it looks great.
Got ourselves a tank.
Nice.
I'm really proud of it, actually. I knew it was going to look good. I didn't know how good. I know, right? It's alive! It's alive!
After all this hard work, we finally got this, 3-4 ton machine together, and it's ready to drive. Once we get this thing welded up, I want to take it out for a spin.
We're just going to start sanding her down, dust her off a bit, and put the stain on, and we're going to hopefully be done with this tank.
We're building a war machine here, but at the same time, knowing Leonardo the way I do, I'd have to say that he'd want it to look pretty, too. I say let the staining process begin. Back in Da Vinci's time, they actually would have stained the wood also. They probably would have used maybe some pine sap or olive oil, only to preserve it. Looks good. Looks more battle-worthy.
Okay, here's your cannons.
Sweet.
Good. So all we've got to do now is put them in the tank and load them up.
That looks good. All right, let's get the rest of them in. So the tank's done. So now the next step is we got to call Dr. Pesner to get down here and take a look.
Hey! What's happening, Doc? How you doing?
Hey! Oh my goodness! My first reaction in seeing it was that this is a huge tank.
It looks like the angle is even more imposing than I thought it would be.
I think he was really blown away by it. I think he really was impressed how it matched the drawing inside and out.
Oh my goodness! Wow! And it's much bigger inside than I thought.
He had his camera out. He went up, down. He was totally a little kid.
Yeah.
Wow!
I think he was jealous that he wasn't here from the get-go to build it with us.
I'm blown away. It's beautiful. It's incredible to see this. I'm not very materialistic, but I'd like to have this.
Yeah.
You've done something amazing here. I love it. It's beautiful. Now let's go see what it can do.
Get on.
All right.
Let's do it. Follow Da Vinci's drawings to the letter. I mean, you pull the top off this thing, it is the first Da Vinci drawing. You put the lid back on, it's the second Da Vinci drawing. It's right there in 3D, life size. It's amazing. It's history in the making. Good job.